I'll request Sister Kalyani to please summarize what we had from last week and then get started. Thank you.
Sairam, last week we spent most of the time discussing the first paragraph about Raja Yoga. So Swami is introducing Raja Yoga, and he said it means to bring the mind under one's control, and there's no need to give up one's buddhi to anything else or anyone else. And Swami had said we don't need to be fooled by others, or we don't need to make our buddhi subservient to any religious teacher. And in everything, we can depend upon our own buddhi. And we began to discuss the second paragraph, but I don't think we fully discussed it yet, where Swami is speaking about the three kinds of instruments of knowledge. The first was sahaja jnana, or natural knowledge, that's seen in its mature state in the animal kingdom, and it's the lowest form of knowledge. And then the second one is sakarana vicharana shakti, rational inquiry. And this can be seen in its fully mature state in the human being. And we haven't yet reached the third.
Yeah. We can discuss further about the same paragraph, I think. Sai Satish, Sai Ram.
Yes, Auntie, we can
go through the whole thing.
Yes, Auntie, we can do that. I think Sister Kalyani's screen, I think she's...
screen share. Share this.
Yeah, she's frozen. I don't know if she's having...
Frozen.
I'll just check with her.
I'm sorry about that. I think I just lost the internet connection.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem, sister. If you can just share the screen, maybe we can read it again and go from there.
Yes, we can read it again. Yes, okay.
Sister, would you like to read it again or?
Yes. So every being has three varieties of instruments for acquiring knowledge, and through that knowledge, wisdom. The first is instinctive. This is very strong, active, and advanced in animals. This is the earliest, the lowest, and therefore the least beneficial of the three. The second is the rational, the instrument that seeks the cause and the effect thereof. This is most evident in man. The instinct can operate only in the limited field of senses and sensory experiences. In man, the instinctive knowledge is largely subordinated by the rational instruments. The limits of the rational are very thin. Reason can range over vastly wider fields. In spite of this, reason too is capable of very poor performance only. Its reach is restricted. It can proceed only a certain distance. It cannot venture further. The road that logic takes is not straight. It is more circular, returning again and again to the place from which it started. And I think it might be good if we can do the Telugu. We did do it once, but if we can just review the Telugu as well.
Yeah, it's better we repeat it. I'll start it from the second paragraph.
Sure.
Okay. Oh. సర్వభూతములకును మూడు తెరుగుల జ్ఞానోపకరణములు కలవు.
For all beings, there are three types of instruments to acquire knowledge.
Yeah, instruments of knowledge. మొదటి సహజ జ్ఞానము.
The first is innate knowledge.
Yeah, innate knowledge. ఇది జంతువుల యందు అత్యంత పరిణత రూపమున కావచ్చును.
This is, one can see this very well expressed in the animal kingdom.
Yeah. Fully developed, you can say. Fully developed.
Fully developed, yes.
జ్ఞానోపకరణము జ్ఞానోపకరణములన్నిటిలో ఇది చాలా అట్టడుగుది.
Of all the instruments of knowledge, this is the basic one.
అనగా అధమమైనది.
That means the lowest.
ఇక రెండవది సకారణ విచారణ శక్తి.
The second one is the sakarana vicharana. Vicharana is inquiry, no? Sakarana is
inquiring into the cause
and effect. Okay.
ఇది మానవుల యందు పూర్ణ పరిణత రూపమున కానవచ్చును.
This can be seen. Parinata rupam ante
parinata, fully developed, matured.
Okay, this is fully developed in the humankind.
Among human beings. Sahaja gnanamu mikkili parimatamu. Innate knowledge is very limited.
Okay.
So, parimita ఆవరణమునందే అది వర్తింపగలదు.
I will need help, auntie. I don't know.
In that limited field only, this can take a matured form. మానవుల యందు పూర్ణ పరిణత రూపమున కానవచ్చును. It can see this sakarana vicharana shakti, that is cause and effect, the inquiry into cause and effect. It can be seen in human beings in a fully developed form. Sahaja gnanamu mikkili parimatamu. The innate knowledge is very limited. Aparinata avaranamulande, in that limited field, it can adi vartimpagadu, it can work or it can grow. Vartimpagaladu.
It can enhance, auntie?
It can enhance. Okay. మానవునిలో ఈ సహజ జ్ఞానము చాలా వరకు విచారణ శక్తి రూపమున ఉంది ఉండును. మానవునిలో
in human beings,
ఈ సహజ జ్ఞానము,
this innate knowledge,
చాలా వరకు,
to a great extent,
విచారణ శక్తి రూపము,
in the form of inquiry,
నొంది ఉండును. It will take the form. It will take that
okay.
fully developed form. అతని కార్యాచరణ ఆవరణములు కూడా
karyacharana, his cause,
his
the action,
field of action, his field, karyacharana.
Yeah, in the field of action,
విశాలత నొంది ఉండును.
It is very expansive.
Yeah. కానీ ఈ విచారణ శక్తి,
but this spirit of inquiry
కూడా మిక్కిలి అసమగ్ర ప్రభావము కలదియే. Even this inquiry, the power of inquiry or the vicharana shakti, it also has got a very limited asamagra. It's not fully complete.
Okay.
It's not fully complete. I think I'm okay. Only in the limited field of senses. Is largely subordinated by the rational instruments. కానీ విచారణ శక్తి కూడా మిక్కిలి అసమగ్ర ప్రభావము కలదియే. Even this, the power of inquiry is also limited. It's not fully developed.
Yeah.
ఇది అది కొంత దూరం వరకే పోవును.
It can go only so far.
ఆ మీద పోజాలదు.
It cannot go beyond that.
తార్కిక మార్గము,
The path of logic,
తిన్నగా సాగక, it will not smoothly go further.
okay,
వలయాకృతిని ధరించి, వలయాకృతి, it's more circular.
okay.
మరల మొదటికే వచ్చును.
Oh, it will come back again to the starting point.
మన విషయ జ్ఞానమునకు
Vishaya Jnanam, auntie, like Vishaya Jnanam is
object sensory
I don't think we haven't read that in English yet. Auntie.
Oh yeah, here it's not given. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we haven't read that. Yeah.
Paragraph, I think in English we have.
I had also just checked on ChatGPT. Could the Sakarana Vicharana Shakti, it was saying rational inquiry. Is that a good translation?
Yeah, correct. That's also correct. Rational inquiry. This Tarkika Gnanam is also logical inquiry.
It is Tarka, no, auntie. Tarkika Nala is Tarkavadam, basically.
Tarkavada, that from that word Tarka, Tarkika comes.
Okay.
It takes the noun form. Sorry, adjective. And the last time Arun was translating instinctive, that Sahaja Gnanamu as innate, what you said, correct. Inborn. The inborn knowledge among animals is completely fully developed. And we had the example of a cow. As soon as a calf is born, it goes to the udder of the mother and then it suckles milk. It takes milk from there. Even a child, even a baby, when is human baby born, as soon as it's born, it takes up to its mother's bosom. That's also Sahaja Gnana.
Yes,
we are
auntie.
born with those knowledge.
And when Swami is saying Jantu, does that include humans or only animal kingdom?
Here, Jantu means only animals, but and Jantu nam Narajanma Durlabham, Swami say in Viveka Chudamani. It's also Jantu is included in. Ja means to be born. Whatever is born is Jantu.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, sister. I know after that, Sanjayana, I think, has his hand up.
Just one other thing I wanted to clarify. So Swami was saying it's actually the Sahaja Jnana in humans that becomes the Vicharana Shakti. Is that right? To a large extent?
Correct. Adena. The Sakarana Shakti also, Sahaja Gnanamu Vikli Parimitamu, మానవునిలో ఈ సహజ జ్ఞానము చాలా వరకు విచారణ శక్తి రూపము ఉంది ఉండను. కరెక్ట్. ద సేమ్ సహజ జ్ఞాన కెన్ మోడిఫైడ్ ఇంటూ ఏ సకారణ విచారణ శక్తి.
Okay, so it's that same Sahaj, it is that Sahaja Jnana, but it just changes into Vicharana.
It attains another form as the Sakarana Vicharana Shakti.
I think it's more for like the faculty of the mind and intellect becomes stronger in humans. So that is where what is a reaction born out of instinct becomes more goes into more of a
rational
response born out of logic.
Yeah.
I think that is what the transition happens from a reaction born out of instinct to a response born of logic, kind of a transition.
Exactly.
Sanjayana, I know you had your hand up and then you dropped off. Maybe you.
No, I just wanted to say is if Sahaja, would a better translation be natural than intrinsic and innate? Because like heat is a nature of fire.
Yeah.
Similarly, is it more of a natural and to understand logic? I mean, the ability to introspect and think and reflect is also the nature of the human mind. Sure, it progresses as we grow up and as we gain more knowledge, but it is also very natural to human being to think about, surroundings and inquire into the purpose and so on and so forth. So, in that sense, the natural ability of humans takes the form of logic and inquiry. Is that would that be um, would that be an easier way to understand? Because it's not like one is transforms or transmutes into the other one, but since inquiry is the very nature of human being, so in that sense, the natural ability or the instinctive knowledge presents itself much more as sakarana vikara, vicharana, something like that.
Sakarana.
Yeah, any thoughts on that? I know, Sister Vani, you have your hand up. Just just checking if before going on, if it's the same point, Sister, you can add on to it. If it's another one, maybe we can.
Yeah, I'll wait.
No, no problem. Thank you for that. Anyone wants to add to what Sanjana was saying in terms of how, because I think it comes more from human birth itself begins from Koham, who am I? So that inquiry is there right from the beginning. So I think it is just getting to a point where Anna, can you just add to what you're saying? You're saying that essentially it is there as an intrinsic nature of human beings to inquire about themselves, right?
Yeah, to varying abilities based on our own development. But at any stage of development, we're always curious. The human mind is always curious to see what is behind the wall, what is behind the door, or why is this happening? So that is a very nature, but it presents itself when you compare it to other life forms. It might present itself as the ability to logic, rationalize, and think. Whereas when you look at it purely from the reference point of a human being or the human mind, it is a very nature of the human mind um, to think about the cause and effect of things and to look for reasons for something and so on. I don't know if that's making sense, but what is very, very plain and simple natural knowledge, instinctive knowledge in the lower forms of animals presents itself still as a sahaja of human beings, but in the context of the lower forms, it might seem like it's much more sophisticated.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Anyone wants to add to that point?
Maybe Vani, Sister Vani. Does she want to answer?
She had another point, Auntie.
Oh, okay. So,
Maybe, yeah, yes, Auntie.
according to Sanjay, what he is saying is this cause hunting is the natural quality of human beings. We inquire into the cause. When we see some effect, we want to know what's the cause for it. So that is natural knowledge among human beings. And though in the beginning it is very much present in the animals, it can be seen in a rational way in human beings. That's what Sanjay was saying.
Yes, Auntie. And for me, just to add to that, I see that the Annamaya and Pranamaya are largely expressed in the animal kind, and the Manomaya and Vijnanamaya start showing itself more. We have the Manomaya fully expressed in the human kind, and Vijnanamaya, based on their evolution or their state of progress, Vijnanamaya comes in. So obviously, no doubt, the humankind has Annamaya and Pranamaya, but they operate more at the level of Manomaya. And that is where, depending on their state of inquiry, they can go into Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya. Or if they are too involved in the world, they will slip off into Annamaya and Pranamaya. So that is what I would say to what Sanjayana is saying. So that way it is that will really define. And in animals, that is predominantly from dawn to dusk. It's more of survival, gathering, just the food and sleep. So that saying is there, not I forget. Ahara, Nidra, Pashubis, like those four things are common between
Common.
animal and human. Yanena Shunyaha, Pashubis Samanaha. One who is devoid of
Nana.
jnana or wisdom is the one is equivalent to animal. So that way, ahara, nidra, bhaya, and one I forget one more.
Maituna.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I think also is rational thinking is not it's not very common among, even though we are all human beings. Rational thinking comes only after a certain kind of evolution. What you say is, everybody doesn't think rationally. I feel so. Sairam.
Yes, Auntie. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's Tommy is saying in the other discourse also. I think only by singing again and again in practice, one becomes a good singer. By chewing again, and again, even the neem, which is bitter, becomes sweet.
Sweet.
So only by practice again and again will the intellect or the faculty of rational thinking or all of that get developed. The more we use that instrument, the better, or we strengthen that muscle of rationality also in us, or the spirit of inquiry and all of that.
Yeah.
Any other points on this? If not, we'll have Sister Vani. I know you had your hand up for quite some time. Maybe we'll hand this over to you.
Sairam, brother. So I have a question about, here it says the animals have their instinct very strong, but we have our rational thinking limited. But is our instinct as strong as the animals? Because sometimes we say, right, dogs have better, stronger instinct than men, and they can sense certain things. So in that situation, so is our instinct also limited?
Okay, thank you for that question, sister. So any thoughts on that? Is our when we compare the humankind with the animal kind, are we restricted in what we have as instincts? Sometimes we see animals have better faculties in certain aspects than humankind. So are we restricted when we compare ourselves with animals on that note? Yes, Sanjayana.
Sairam, yeah, no, that's a very good question. I mean, very good observation, along with what Auntie was saying also in terms of the development of rational thinking, no? It's very true. So take, for example, I know birds and some animals can easily predict the forthcoming of some natural disasters. It has been said, right? Humans, even though if we get a warning, sometimes you can see some in some places where a tornado is predicted or flooding is predicted, people don't leave the place, even though they have been given the information. What is preventing? See, where an animal with instinctive knowledge is able to act on it, what is preventing us from acting on not only instinctive knowledge? We know there's a tornado coming, we can see a tornado coming, or we know there's flood, waters are rising and flood might be coming. What is preventing us? And to what Auntie also said, rational thinking, what prevents us from going down or completing the thought process of rational thinking? Is it our preconceived notions or prejudices and other matters that come in the way? Even to think when we think of spirituality and some of these topics, what prevents us from accepting something that might be the truth is our own preconceived notion and something that we have hung on to for security, something that we have hung on to feel part of something, prevents us from opening our mind and rationally thinking about a new truth that somebody might be pointing us towards. So, in that sense, I think animals are much better at acting on their natural instincts, whereas humans are constrained and conflicted uh, from acting on it because of the ability to think rationally and also encumbered by other prejudices and preconceived notions.
Sairam, I feel that the refusal to take up the warnings about especially tornadoes or tsunami or some kind of natural disaster, people think, that mostly they are attached to the property, to the wealth or to the places where they live, and they don't want to leave it. See, thinking that, blindly believing that no, nothing will happen to us. That kind of feeling comes to them. Perhaps I feel it is because of the attachment to the places where they stay. And as you say, it's maybe their minds are tuned to such a thing, that okay, let it come, we'll face. That also may be possible. Saira.
Thanks, Auntie. And I know, Sakku Auntie, you had your hand up.
Yes, Mike, my observation is the instinct can operate only in the limited field of senses and sensory experience. This is for a man, not for animal, I'm telling. So even they feel the instinct it says that there's a danger coming, they don't get the full benefit of rational thinking. What they do, what prevents them from going forward is their attachment, as Auntie says, bondage, or the property, or what their families, all these bondages also will stop a man from accepting his instinct.
Thank you, Auntie. Any other thoughts on this?
Sairam, I had a question about this. Do you think that part of humanity and the progress of humanity is due to the fact that we are able to suppress or overcome those instinctive feelings? Like if we always, whenever we feel fear, if we always run away from it, then maybe we wouldn't have developed, other strategies to overcome fear or to face different situations.
Thank you for that question, sister. Any thoughts on that one? I know I have to drop off for one thing. I know Sanjay and I will handle, but I'll just give my few thoughts on both the earlier one and this before I drop. One is for Sister Vani's question. We know the number of times Sai Gita would run out of her shed when Swami's car is leaving Mandir. And all of us students bang opposite in the hostel. When we used to see Sai Gita run out, we know Swami's car is going to come in the next few minutes. So any day in those kind of thing, animals have that kind of sensory perception that is far greater than human beings. But again, if we go down that path, what really makes humankind what it is, I think Auntie already mentioned that Jantunam Narajanma Durlabam, because that is only, it gets us to a point where we can take the last step towards realizing the intrinsic nature. So that is always there. The second aspect is, okay, the thing of then in that case, why like what Sanjay now was saying, then why does it happen that warnings are given and nobody leaves, or a good section of population don't leave? We know that story of how or the technique of how monkeys are trapped. They have this big pot with a narrow mouth. They keep peanuts inside. The monkey goes, it grabs the peanuts. It's not ready to let go of the peanuts, so it's not able to get out its hand out of that pot with that narrow mouth, and that essentially that person comes and catches the monkey. So our holding on to that peanuts, our holding on to our family, wealth, possessions, all of that thing is so strong, we're not able to let go. So we are stuck there essentially. So whether it's a tragedy or a comedy or any other thing that happens, we get swayed with it. If you're ready to drop that peanuts and say it is peanuts and God is what is there, and then the hand will easily come out of that narrow mouth and we are free. But obviously, the hold is so strong on that we are not able to come out. That is one aspect. And to what Sister Kalyani had mentioned, yeah, again, the same thing. It is fight or flight. It is both, like what you are saying, Sister. If it was every time flight, then nothing would have happened. But there have been instances of fighting also where people have stood there and then fought back. So, yes, the same thing of whether it has led to a situation where instincts have uh, weighed more on the pan, or whether more of a response that came out of saying that, yeah, we will put up with it. So it's been, I think it has aided in the growth aspect as much as fear took away the person from that. Like we say, Papa Bhiti, the fear of sin has also helped humanity grow. So it's the same fear, how we use that, which tells whether it is leading to involution or like going down or evolution. So I would stop at that. And Sanjay Anna, I know you have your hand up. So I will.
No, that was a mistake, accidental. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Even otherwise, and I would just request you to just step in from here. I will have to drop off. So I will. Maybe I'm listening, but I may not. I'm not sure if I can actively have this. So
Okay.
maybe, yeah. Thanks, Anna, and
No.
Mani Auntie and Sister Kalyani.
Auntie, I think there are several experienced people here, so it'll flow on its own by Swami's grace. Yeah. But
Yeah, and I have Sister Shivani's. I see her hand up also. So, Sister Shivani, you can.
He's just summarizing out loudly, and my understanding is the innate or natural instinct. What we are talking about is it's in animals, and the inquiring into cause and effect, or it's more present in human beings, right? So, and I'm just reading, maybe I'm going really ahead, but if I am, I will stop there. So the instinct can operate only in the limited field of senses and sensory experience. And the following line, I would love to have some, are we there yet or not? Because I'm just kind of need some clarity on in man, the instinct knowledge is largely subordinate by the rational instrument. So I'm thinking this is what we are discussing, that it's there, but it's more overpowered or more largely subordinated by the quality of inquiring into, inquiring. So I mean, once this discussion is done, I would love to have just clarity on those two sentences. So,
So, sister, you're basically asking how if instinctive knowledge is subordinated by rational instruments.
Before that, brother, I'm not basically just if the instinct can operate only in the limited field of senses and sensory experiences. What does it mean? I think Sakwanti referred to that, but if we can elaborate on that, that will be helpful to me.
Okay. Anyone has any that? Yes, please go ahead, Sakwanti.
Sairam, can you remember the Baba used to tell a story? I cannot remember whether it's Sruti Baba's or was Lord Sai, that a man was chased by a tiger or lion. He climbed up to a tree and he was holding onto a branch, and the branch was breaking. When he looked down, there was a well and there were snakes. If he doesn't leave the hand, the the animal is going to attack him. They were about to climb and try to attack him. Even the man will try his best to survive, not rationally thinking what is the there's a way for me to be out. So in stories we have heard, they call out to Lord Vishnu or Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma or Basai, and they get saved. But people who don't have that kind of a spiritual advancement in their thinking, they will be in a dilemma. So it is all left to the human beings. If they want to stay within the limit of instinctive, that is senses and sensory, they stay there. They don't go advance. They don't go forward in spiritual seeking for the goal. So that disadvantage is there for the men. Men who don't either follow their instinctive or they don't analyze the rational, use the rational instruments, they will be suffering with anxiety and
Thank you, Auntie. So the question is instinctive knowledge available only through the senses?
No.
Or is it?
No, it's through your knowledge. You said, sorry, Saira, Sai Sati said, Annamaya Kosa and Manomaya Kosa,
Pranamaya.
Pranamaya Kosa, both of them, they will be attached to the food, the sensory enjoyment experience. But when you go to Manomaya and Vijnanamaya, you will start investigating. You have to go travel up, then only you can reach the Vijnanamaya Kosa state, that is the Jignasu, and then the bliss, Anandamaya Kosa.
Sai Ram, I think Sister Shivani was asking about that sentence. The instinct can operate only in the limited field of senses and sensory experiences. But in the Telugu, I don't think it's exactly the same, Auntie. Can you?
I'll just read it out. సహజ జ్ఞానము మిక్కిలి పరిమితము. పరిమితం అంటే ఇట్ ఇస్ లిమిటెడ్. ఆ పరిమిత ఆవరణమునందే అది వర్తింపగలదు. ఇట్ కెన్ ఆపరేట్ ఓన్లీ ఇన్ దట్ ఫీల్డ్. That sahaja gnana, that's instinctive knowledge, whatever it is, innate knowledge, it can operate only in a limited field. And it can grow only there, that's all. But beyond that, మానవునిలో ఈ సహజ జ్ఞానము చాలా వరకు విచారణ శక్తి రూపమును ఉంది ఉండు. As we grow older, as we grow in age, I think the same instinctive knowledge will take the form of sakarana vicharana shakti. It can be transformed into that inquiry, the sakarana vicharana shakti. It can become the cause, the hunting for the cause.
It can become.
It can become.
It can become.
It can become.
I would maybe say it presents itself as, the instinctive knowledge presents itself more as a rational ability. Auntie, what's this Telugu, Auntie? Can you read that last line you just now read, please?
Yeah, okay, sure. I'll read the Sahaja Gnanamu Mikili Parimatamu. That you understand. That's the limit.
Yes.
Yeah. చాలా వరకు మానవునిలో ఈ సహజ జ్ఞానము చాలా వరకు టు ఎ లార్జ్ ఎక్స్టెంట్ విచారణ శక్తి రూపము పొంది ఉండును.
So it presents itself. It appears in the form of of
It,
uh,
it starts
of
from a,
rational knowledge, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yes, which is what we were talking earlier, which is very natural to the human the human mind.
So I don't think it's saying that instinctive knowledge is only in the field of the senses and sensory experiences.
That, that
You're
particular question, senses and sensory experience, it's not written in Telugu.
good catch. I'm glad that we sorted that out.
Sorry. 1 minute.
Sairam. So it is also in the following sentence. It says, in man, the instinctive knowledge is largely subordinated by the rational instruments. So the rationalize or rational thinking takes precedence over the instinct knowledge that the man possess. So we don't really, I guess, use our instinct knowledge because we always the rational thinking always take over. Is it the right way to interpret this? Is in man the instinctive knowledge is largely subordinated by the rational instruments?
Good question. I would rephrase the question. I would see if it's okay to rephrase the question this way. Do we not act purely on instinctive knowledge, but we take instinctive knowledge into consideration along with our rational thinking and then act on it? Is that a good way to ask the question?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
Okay,
Yes,
good
yes.
question. Yeah, maybe somebody can answer, please.
That's right.
And this is something what Auntie read, that instinct knowledge grows eventually into rational,
Knowledge.
right?
Yeah, correct.
Perfect.
Yeah, instinctive knowledge is there and it is largely supported as we grow up, our brain also develops. So the rational thinking also comes along with that and then it supports the instinctive knowledge.
It's a natural process or it's human?
It's natural process.
You know why I'm saying it? I don't know. Maybe I'm relating
Yeah.
because it reminds me how Bhagawan has said that, eat, feeding yourself, sleeping, drinking is animal quality, and grow out of that. Man should rise to a man quality. So to our natural our rational quality, I would say that's our real quality, but we don't. So it looks like you have to make, my understanding is that you have to make efforts to grow to that level.
Shivani, Swami also had mentioned, we have been given a discriminative aspect of our knowledge. Animals, you don't find discrimination. Viveka is given to us.
Yeah.
Exactly the reason why we can start inquiring into the cause of anything.
So it's there. It's just we have to use it.
Develop that.
Okay,
No,
gotcha.
even a small child doesn't understand. If it goes to the fire and keeps its hand until that kind of discriminative knowledge will appear to us as we grow a little older, and then our brains also can absorb. Can think in that way.
Okay.
Don't you think so?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Auntie.
Go ahead, Sakwanti.
Sairam. This man only living with instinctive is equal to an animal, right?
Yes, exactly.
Man has to rise up not by him physically growing older, but his knowledge has to grow.
Yeah.
Who am I? Why I'm here? All those things. So all this has to be, he has to ask and he has to use his mind for better better way of life. For that, you need Vijnanamaya Kosa.
That is, yeah, that's exactly Vijnana.
Yeah. That is why Baba says it is very, the reason too is capable of very poor performance only. It's restricted. Because not all can ask spiritual questions and all those things unless you are having some prarabdha blessing.
Yes. Sister Aruna, please go ahead. Yes.
Sai Ram, my understanding here, acquiring knowledge through the instinct, then I think it's like a progress, right? First, as a human, as Auntie said, when the baby knows how to get the milk, same thing. So then when we progress, we as a human, we are not supposed to live with the instinct knowledge. We have to now use the rational to see whether that is right, or that is where right or not. That is where the Sai Sathis was saying there's a when we stick with the very instinct, then we will be attached to the Annamaya and Pranamaya kosha only. So as the humans, we have to use our rational to move on with that. So Manomaya and Vijnanamaya kosha to reach to understand who am I. I think it's like a progressive thing. Only I am seeing it. I don't know whether that is the way Swami also referring here. Just thought of just understanding little more on that.
Yes, Aruna. Yeah, Sister Aruna, you are correct. Because later on, Swami says all the three kinds of knowledges which is mentioned here. I mean, only two here in the paragraph. Later on, he mentions about the intuition also. All
On
these
camera.
are present in our. It's already present. It grows one by one. It's inclusive, all inclusive. At the end.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Vani, go ahead, please.
Sai Ram. So I think, animals, when their instinct triggers through senses, and where for us, I think that's when, Swami says, our desires, and we should control our senses. So in order for us to control our senses, we need this rational thinking, what is right and wrong and all that. So, right. So I think, we need to be very careful in using this rational thinking. Otherwise, we'll be like animals, like just react to what happens outside or we are being triggered. We have this, we are being given this rational thinking just to make sure that we just don't react based on how animals just, bark because they saw something, or like a dog's just bark. Just thinking out loud here.
And now we are just reading the second one. Imagine the third one when we know. But now I'm thinking what Bhagawan has said, man, birth is a sacred birth in 84 lakhs or whatever this species born. Now it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Why he said it's, we are so privileged to have this quality. Thank you.
Sai Ram, I was also just noting that, these few sentences where Swami saying about rational inquiry, the natural, the Sahaja Jnana has taken the form of Vicharana Shakti, and how Vicharana Shakti is expanded, the perimeter of activities is expanded, but it is still limited, and it can only take you some distance, and it's very circular. You'll just end up back again and again at the same place where you started. So it's almost like it's kind of striking me that, is it that this instinctive knowledge, the natural knowledge, we're just kind of disguising it as rational inquiry in a way? Like, is it that, like, we still have these same fears, the same need to protect ourselves, the same, like, four basic instincts that animals have, but we just kind of embellish it and make it look better with rational inquiry? I'm not sure if that's kind of the sense I'm getting when I read these last few lines, which kind of makes it seem that, Vicharana Shakti is not the highest.
Yes. He says, కొంత దూరం వరకే పోవును విచారణ శక్తి కూడా మిక్కిలి అసమగ్ర ప్రభావము కలది. It has only a limited influence. Okay, when even that inquiry, the power of inquiry is limited to a large extent. అది కొంత దూరము వరకే పోవును. Only it goes up to a little distance. ఆ మీద పోజాలదు. It cannot go further.
Saira.
Das, brother, Auntie Saku, 1 second. Brother Dasan had his hands up for a quick second. If you want
Yeah,
to
no
go first.
problem.
Sorry. The raise hand is not working, I think. Okay.
Oh, okay.
The Sahaja Jnana is found largely in the animal kingdom. We accept it.
Yes.
And the rational thinking is in the human, because we know, can I put my finger in the fire or not? That's common sense, no? So we have that thinking ability to know what is right and what is wrong. But animal cannot do that, yeah. So Jnana is, Bhagawan explains in the next paragraph, no? So Jnana is, they have developed another faculty, which is intuition. So the stages are first instinct, of English word instinct, then rational thinking, then intuition. But Baba says in the next paragraph, intuition will not contradict with either with rational thinking or the instinct, whatever it is, because everything is combined in the intuition which jnanis have. So as we grow spiritually, the instinct feeling will vanish actually, because will vanish, and then we get the rational thinking. Then when we move spiritually more and more higher, then we get the intuition, because now through thinking we cannot understand how this world was created, how God is residing in each and everybody in equal measure. These are the things. Now some people will say, oh, my God is the greatest, and their God is, I don't like their God, and I like my God. No, this is not intuition. Intuition will not say that. Intuition is the finest and the largest state where we can understand which cannot be understood through the rational thinking. That's why we say we become again and again circular motion. No? So, not that I am not saying that I developed the intuition, but I am saying is, Baba has said, the seedlings of intuition is in each and everybody. So to become more expansive. I have seen many people will stick to their own deity and they will say that is the greatest and they are wrong and this is wrong. But the human beings, many of the human beings are like that. So who can cut that? Who can cut that sentiment and come beyond and feel that we are one? And whether animal or plants or any human is one, whether enemy or whether anybody is one. No, so to go to that feeling and to become that, we need intuition power now. So these are stages of development. Baba has also said in the other paragraph. So that's what I want to share, and also I want to excuse you because I need to go somewhere. That's why I am waiting. And okay, thank you. I will
Brother
speak it
Shivadas,
for now.
Brother Shivadas, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Did you say that the instinctive knowledge will vanish when we grow?
Yeah. Not vanish. It is subsided. It is hidden now. Everything, even that intuition, it is hidden in the intuition.
Yeah, it cannot vanish. It cannot
Yeah,
vanish.
it is hidden because the knowledge is transforming also. Here Baba says, no, it is changing and higher and higher and higher. So for a person, for a jnani, he will never contradict the rational thinking. He will never, because he is jnani, he will not say, oh, this is not man, this is not lady, So he will have that rational thinking also. Yeah, that's what you want to say, sister. Yeah. But the instinctive knowledge, Baba, because it is developing into the higher form, instinct may be very, very, what do you call, very hidden form.
It is very much there.
Very much.
The instinct of fear or instinct of some other thing, it is very much there, but it is much more, as you say, it is slowly transformed. It's slowly transformed into rational thinking. Why I am afraid? If I say that fear is one instinct, we will inquire, why I am afraid of that? So I will go into the cause. And then, we understand the cause, the reason why I am getting afraid. Then we will come to a conclusion, okay, this is fine. That instinctive knowledge, very much.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Sairam.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Sister Saku, please.
Yes, Sairam. This is, I am trying to give an explanation and a story, not story, really happened incident. The limits of the rational are very thin. Reason can range over vastly wider fields. In spite of this, reason too is capable of very poor performance only. Reach is restricted. Its reach is restricted. This happened, I was watching Sri Sathya Sai Media Center. One person came, his name is Sai. He's a Chinese Catholic. And he doesn't know why his name has been given as Sai. But he had everything. He had money, he had position, he had everything. Still, he felt he's not full. He something lacking in his life. Then he went to Catholicism priest and asked why he is feeling. They couldn't tell. Buddhist monks, they said you have to renounce and come. That also didn't help him. He went to Indian. They also couldn't. They were asking him to read Bhagavad Gita. So somebody in one of the bhajan, he went to bhajan, he felt so happy. Then they were saying, go and meet, there is a God man in Puttapati, let us go and meet him. From the moment he saw him, he felt that every doubt has cleared, but he started yearning for Baba. But Baba was ignoring him for 4 darshan. 5th darshan only, he called him for an interview and he told him whatever questions he asked, Baba answered. And from that time onwards, he has become a Sai devotee. So this is the process of a human being. You can have every sensory pleasures, you can have it. But still, when you reach a certain stage, you will feel, no, I am not complete. I need to know more about what is this all I am seeing, experiencing. So that's how the vicharana takes place. And then the vicharana becomes, you go to, that is why he says it is not a straight road. It is more circular. Returning again and again. Returning again and again means you will be born again and again to the place which is started already. So unless we get a guru, that clearance, that what can I say, that you will become more, all your doubts will get cleared, and you will become more walking towards the final goal.
Sakuji,
Yes, sorry.
you're saying it's more circular, returning to the place again and again. It not only that we are going to be born again, but this vicharana shakti, that is, you are finding a cause for everything. This rational inquiry also will not going to end in and conclusion. It goes on and on. That's what Swami here means. The path of inquiry will not solve your problem. It does not take you to your goal of life. That's where
over and over again.
Yeah, over again. It's not maybe in the further this thing. It may mean we come back to life again and again. But here what it means is the path of inquiry will not take you to the particular goal.
Yeah,
destination. That's what he means here.
Oh, I took it like whatever fulfillment in life.
You don't find fulfillment in that life. In this, if you go on inquiring, there is no meaning in go on inquiring, reasoning for this reason, that must be the reason, and for that reason, another reason.
That's why he went to religious leaders to ask questions.
Again and again, it goes on regressive path.
Now he's in the seva, Sai Seva.
Sai Ram.
Just want to add one thing. If you remember from the early chapters where Swami said the Purusha and Prakriti are like two parallel lines without a beginning and without an end, going for infinity, right? It's easy to keep that picture in mind all the time, because all reasoning happens on one line. How can that ever point you to the other line? Because the other line is Swaprakash, that's what the whole thing. It only God's grace reveals the ultimate thing. So all this reasoning it's good, it's active, but it'll keep on coming back to the same again and again.
Same place.
Yes, thank you. Sister Aruna, please go ahead.
See, now I clear pictures coming out of this discussion. So for that knowledge, acquiring knowledge, the instinct is the basic, but as rational, with the rational only the human can do, because animals only has the power of only they do only with the instinct, they do things. But whereas the humans has a way of looking into rational, but Swami says even the rational way of thinking also will not take anywhere. We will we'll go back to the same thing again and again. That part, is it okay for us to understand little more how we are doing nowadays? Even now we will think, oh, this may be right, this is wrong. So the rational will not take anywhere, but that is one of the steps we'll take it at the beginning to to live in the world. Isn't it something we do all the time? I just thought of instinctive is the basic and rational is the top, where we make based on what is saying, we inquire and we'll do what is right and wrong. But even that, Swami says, we will go on a circular way of going back to the same thing. So I'm thinking.
Yeah, Aruna, that's asking that we are on the path of inquiry, of course, and it is taking us nowhere. It's coming back to
yes.
But further paragraphs, Swami is introducing another aspect, That is Ishvara
Okay,
Preta
okay,
Gnana.
okay.
Ishvara Preta Gnana will help us to find out the final goal. Not the path of inquiry will take us to a little extent, but there, we have to be helped by that Ishvara Preta Gnana. That,
Yeah.
intuition should help us to go
And
far.
Auntie, I have a
Thank you.
question here. Is it should we actually keep the rational thinking separate from path of inquiry? Because are they the same, or is there a slight distinction between path of inquiry for the higher truth versus just rational knowledge? If I see dark clouds, I know it's going to rain. Um, that kind of logic. Are the two, would it be okay to, I mean, is it right to combine the two, or should they be separate?
Mm,
I know Swami does not talk about it here, but I,
yes,
I I feel like the path of inquiry or Vicharana Shakti, which I think when Sai Satish mentioned, which comes in the higher than Manomaya Kosha,
uh,
is that a little bit more sophisticated and higher than just pure rational thinking?
pure rational thinking, spiritual inquiry, rather than Vicharana Shakti can be taken as spiritual inquiry. Swami, I think he is referring to this path of inquiry as into the spiritual field where we go. And we go further, cause for why Swami did this, why Swami takes vibhuti. And also all these questions, it comes to us. But we go on thinking, however much we think about these certain things about spirituality, we will not come to a conclusion. There, our prayer, Ishvara Prerita Gnana should help us. I think what you are saying, maybe you are correct, two ways of thinking. But here, I feel Swami is thinking about a rational thing, that is path of inquiry is only to the through in the spirituality field.
Okay, thank
Side.
you. I know, Sister Kalyan, you had a question where I think, if I'm not mistaken, you were asking, is rational thinking um, any more better than instinctive knowledge? Or because we get to coin the term, did we just put ourselves on a pedestal higher up than animals and define this as better? Was that a question?
Yes, and the question stemmed from the line where Swami is saying this natural knowledge to a great extent has taken the form of inquiry.
Mm.
And yeah, in Telugu auntie, I think it was
Yeah. Instinctive knowledge is largely subordinated by the rational instruments, he says.
yes.
But here in Telugu, Swami is saying it's not subordinated.
Yeah.
It is
It
not.
says in Rupamu.
Yeah,
Rupamu, it says.
actually, it's transformed.
Ah.
It has.
What does nondiyundunu mean, auntie?
Amma?
What is the word nondiyundunu?
Nondiyundunana, it attains. It
Attain.
attains. It takes its form.
Yeah. So manavani.
Pondedi, you use the word pondedi in Telugu. It is pondi unnadi, it is nondi unnadi.
Okay.
Shakti rupamunu pondi unnadi.
Yeah, so I think that was the sentence I was wondering about.
Yeah.
If the Sahaja Jnana, it takes that form of Vicharana Shakti.
Shakti. సహజ జ్ఞానము చాలా వరకు విచారణ శక్తి రూపము నొంది ఉండును. It will take the form. And here, instinctive knowledge is largely subordinated. It says, no, I think there is some kind of this thing here in the translation. Sanjay ji?
Yes,
Yeah.
Auntie. Yeah, I think the way we understood it earlier probably makes more sense. It is
Yeah. If it is subordinated by rational instrument, then we will be instinctive knowledge is more useful for us then.
no, not subordinate in that sense. I think like the rational, whatever instinctive knowledge we gain at a younger age is process through our wisdom and other experiences as we grow, and then we take the instinctive knowledge, but we process it through the lens of our life's experiences and other observations to rationally act on that instinctive knowledge. That in that sense,
Yeah.
the instinctive knowledge by itself does not decide our response, but instinctive knowledge plus experiences, that is from rational knowledge, rational thinking, that elicits our response to what we see. That's how I understand it.
So the rational knowledge will subordinate this instinctive knowledge. That's the correct way of putting it. Yes, correct.
Auntie, it's like a instinct knowledge. I think animal and human will have it as a basic, but human use it as a like a growing. We will use it on a rational basis, whereas animals always use the instinct knowledge to live. But whereas human use the rational, but that is also not sufficient kind of, that is not enough. As you mentioned, Swami is covering in the next paragraph, maybe the highest. Yeah, thank you. It's a good discussion to understand. Thanks.
Brother Gopalan, Saram, go ahead, please.
I was just thinking about two persons. One is Kalidasa, who was who had no everything was instinct, and how he became a poet. And and again recently, 150 years back, the scientist Ramanuja, who did elementary mathematics, and all the things that he brought out was nobody could understand, but slowly nowadays people are understanding it. So it's some transformation is happening to them, So I don't know what to say about that. Yeah.
Isn't that generally classified as intuition?
Yes, exactly.
More than instinctive, it's a direction from a higher calling.
That's what Swami is going to cover next. Ishvara Prerita Gnanamu, he calls it.
Sorry, Brother Gopal, and I didn't mean to cut you off. My question was, would you consider that more as intuitive, meaning something that comes from the heart, rather than based on sensory input or even mental analysis?
I don't know whether it comes from the heart, because Ramanuja was saying, I don't know why I'm getting these answers. Devi is giving it to me. That's what he was saying. At the same time, Kalidasa was he was enjoying. He was in bliss, and that could be a divine experience of Kalidasa, and obviously even for Ramanuja, So this is Thank you.
Thank you.
So the limit, so this rational or reasoning, what we are discussing, state, so it's limited. It means, as Sister Kalyani, I think she said, I don't know if I'm able to say in such a eloquent way, but it looks like you can inquiry so much. Your rational thinking can work or can be there for a limit. It has some restrictions. You can't live on that. If we are talking on the, and I'm trying to connect it with when we were reading Gita Vahini, where Lord Krishna said that to Arjun, that you should inquire, you should continue, but you should not stuck there. You should move on. Does it make sense? That he was telling Arjun, yes, it's good that you're asking, but you should not stay there at that state of inquiring all the time. Because I'm just reading the following. It reaches its restricted. It can proceed only to certain distance. It
I
cannot
think that's,
venture
yes.
further.
I think that's
Right?
what Auntie was saying. No? It
Yeah.
goes back in circle, it comes back.
Circles, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Also, another thing to kind of keep in mind is, even though rational knowledge seems higher than instinctive knowledge, and it certainly is, all aspects of the basis for rational thinking
Mhm.
comes from our instinctive knowledge, isn't it? See, whether it is my own instinctive knowledge that feeds my rational thinking, or societies, or historical, at the end of the day, it's based on a collection of natural instinctive knowledge that creates this knowledge base from which we evolve our rational thinking. So, in that sense, while rational thinking is an aspect of the human brain which is more developed, it still is the material for rational thinking is based on instinctive knowledge only. So that's why I think it has its limits. Swami says, it can go, it can stretch wider. It can go over vaster areas, like we can look into space and see where is the galaxy, what is beyond the universe. We can look into those kind of things. But at the end of it is still restricted to all the knowledge that has been gathered by humanity, by mankind since creation. So it cannot go past that. I think that's one other thing to keep in mind. Yes, Sakwanti, please go ahead. Your microphone is muted.
Sorry.
Yes, please go ahead.
The sentence says, in man, the instinctive knowledge is largely subordinated by the rational instruments. Subordinated by the rational instruments. You think, look into it.
So to subordinate means something is higher. Exactly. Yes. So rational instruments have subordinated instinctive knowledge because, unlike lower forms of living beings, which just take the instinctive knowledge and act directly on it without any thinking, we are able to take that and put it through another filter, so to speak, and then act on it. So two people's reaction to the same situation may not be the same because we come from different experiences and different way of rational thinking. Whereas our lower forms, they would almost always be the same.
Sai, can I ask one question now? How does Bhagawan Swami do a miracle? Say creating vibhuti. Yes, creating vibhuti. A simple example. Can our rational thinking understand it? That's the thing. No, we can't understand. He did surgery, being in Puttavati, in overseas, and so these can't be understood by rational thinking. That's what rational thinking is limited. So for me, I don't know whether I heard it correctly here. Spiritual inquiry, who am I things, no? Who am I things is within the limited rational. No? When we reach finally to find the answer and be in that answer, that could be intuition. But that is asking question, thinking in this way and that way, whether it is correct or where am I, who am I, where was I born, and what is this, from where that the aham, the I is coming out. It is only merely a rational questioning, inquiry. So whatever that we can understand, how the world was created, we don't know, no? How the sleep overtakes us. A similar example, how sleep overtakes us. And so there are so many things that the rational thinking can't answer. So that is why it is limited. So the instinct knowledge is very much lowest. That's correct.
Yeah.
And for a people now, for say that when something happened to the brothers, sisters, or in the family people, they react more. Oh, I don't know what my sister is going to do with the floods in Sri Lanka. This is a natural thing as calling. How are you and how are you? We don't think that so many hundreds and millions, the lakhs of people are in the water, and we don't know. We don't question it how they are going to survive. And so these sort of things, the man still have that instinct, the instinct. So we have to overcome this instinct feeling and become wider and wider through rational thinking. And we must know now, rational thinking can't answer all the questions we have.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think rational thinking is when Bhagawan said, ask yourself, are you a man or an animal?
Yeah.
Are you a man or an
Yeah,
animal?
I will switch to my phone now. Thank you, Sayana.
And
So I think that's what rational thinking helps.
yeah. Auntie, we end at 4:20 or is it 4:30?
4:22.
4:30 we finish.
Okay. Auntie, I have a question based on this. See, when we come to Swami, right, it's just like the child has a sahaja, child is naturally attracted towards a mother and feels safe in the comfort of the mother or secure in the comfort of the mother. We come to Swami, how we come to Swami initially? Is it instinctive knowledge and then we use rational? One has to understand how we come to Swami, how to stay with Swami, and just wanted to see if you had any thoughts on that.
I would say intuition actually. Rational thinking cannot do that, no? Something beyond rational thinking. So I think that's my answer. Sorry, I will go now. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, Sanjay, when I was very young, I did not have any rational knowledge at that time when I saw Swami. It's maybe instinctive knowledge only which made me closer to Swami at that stage. And maybe afterwards I might have developed that rational knowledge, but still, I was so strong in my faith in Swami. Yes, he is something we cannot understand him. But that part I was very clear. So you can call it as a kind of respect, a kind of affection, a kind of attraction which I had to the higher level, to the higher soul. That's how I got into Swami's fold. Saira.
Thank you, Auntie. So, Kalyani, I don't know if your question or if your thought had been, if you had anything to share on your own question that you had asked earlier.
I think based on all the discussions, I think I don't know if maybe you can clarify if this is correct, but I think it seems that it is that instinctive knowledge that in humans takes on the form or attains the form of inquiry, but it is still limited because we still have, it's still kind of based on those basic instincts, like that instinct to protect ourselves, to protect this body. And it's that same instinct that's working, but using our rational mind, we devise, more efficient ways of doing that.
I think that's how I understood it also. Yeah, that's how I understood it. Yes.
Thank you.
If there are No other questions. Should we read the English of the next section, or?
We should go ahead, just read 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then, yeah, this paragraph particularly is very, very intriguing, and I spent a lot of time understanding what Swami is trying to say. Just we'll leave it for the next Sunday's discussion, but we can read.
We can read the English part at least, and then we can start over again next week. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Take, for example, our knowledge of the objective world, of the elements and energies that compose it. That which urges and prompts the objective world and its components does not stop with just this much. It absorbs also that which is immanent outside the objective world. And so the extent that reason can spread over and explain is as the consciousness that is imprisoned in the tiny molecule, as compared with the vastness and grandeur of the transcendent fullness. For us to go across the boundaries of reason into this full, free realm of intuition, certain spiritual exercises and disciplines are essential. They can be grouped under the name God-propelled jnana, the highest wisdom. For we have only 3 stages of jnana: sahaja jnana, native, derived from the senses of action and perception; yukti yukta jnana, knowledge derived by the process of discrimination and evaluation; and Ishvara prerita jnana, God-induced knowledge gained through grace by inner vision or intuition. The first of these is the knowledge possessed by animals. The second is a characteristic of man. And the third is a special treasure of high-souled individuals. It is possible for everyone to foster, cultivate, and develop the seedlings of this third jnana, for the capacity is latent in all.
The first paragraph is quite difficult. I don't think I should try to read it now, because it involves a lot of translation in English. But whatever is said in this first paragraph is mentioned in a different way by Swami. So let us leave it for the next week. Shall we close here now, or it is 28? The second paragraph is very clear, because all the types of jnanas, what is that sakarana vicharana shakti, Swami translated as yukti yukta jnana, knowledge derived by the process of discrimination and evaluation, he says. And the third one is Ishvara prerita jnana. So this is quite clear. And then Swami is saying, it is possible for everyone to foster and cultivate and develop these seedlings of this third jnana. So everybody has this Ishvara prerita jnana, and we have to develop it and then foster it.
Yes.
So this is a synonym.
Saira?
So Swami is saying the yukta jnana is the same as the sakarana vicharana.
Same as Sacharana Vicharana Shakti. Sakarana Vicharana Shakti. It is same.
Yes. Yeah, Auntie, I agree. This is pretty involved. I think it's best to probably discuss it next week. Start over and discuss it next week.
Yeah, the whole thing has to start. The first paragraph is very, very... It is translated in a different way what Swami is saying in Telugu.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, little different. So unless we know it properly, we should not go into this.
Absolutely agreed. Let's do it next week. We can end it here, I think, right?
Paragraph by paragraph then next week. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Auntie, will you close, Auntie?
Yeah. Om samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om shantihi shantihi Shanti Hari Om. Sai Ram to all of you.
Thank you and Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Thank you, everybody.